What's up, everybody? It's HorrorDeconstruction. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, but mostly on YouTube with your host Komp and
Worn by Nature,
as well as
Bitter.
You can find her new novel, Meatballs and Maple Syrup, A Canadian's Guide to Growing Up Italian.
Wow.
Today's film is
I want to read that book. In Fabric, 2018.
I just figured nowadays, since Thea doesn't do Tumblr, I'm going to make up a novel every time.
There you
I do an
go.
episode with it.
I love that.
In Fabric, 2018. In Fabric is this is one of those IMDb, like when it talks about the film.
You do it off of IMDb. I always look at the wiki.
Oh, but that's like 10 pages. In Fabric is a haunting ghost story set against the backdrop of a busy winter sales period in a department store and follows the life of a cursed dress as it passes from person to person with devastating consequences.
Wow.
Okay, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Directed and written by Peter Strickland, which sounds like a character from something, but I don't know what.
It does.
Starring
sounds like a character from a Stephen King novel.
Sidse Babbitt Knudsen.
Wow. Good job.
Is that okay? Marianne Jean-Baptiste and
that one not so good.
Julian Barrett, Steve Oram, Jayagan Aye. Holy Lord, Zasult Payal. I should give up by now. Richard Bremer and Deborah Griffin.
It's a whole bunch of others. A whole bunch of other people.
So why did we pick In Fabric?
I don't know.
Who picked In Fabric?
You picked
the trailer looked cool. I don't know.
I think Thea talked about seeing it, right?
I think I talked about the trailer when it came out because it looked cool.
Ben.
It looked stylish and sort of 70s and fun.
It's interesting about seeing this film because I didn't know it was the same director of Barbarian Sound System. Is that the film?
Barbarian Sound Studio.
I always say system. I've always wanted to see
like
that film, and because it stars who's the guy that stars in it? Tony J? Not Tony.
Oh, he
Toby
did like
Jones.
a Bjork
Toby
thing.
Jones, excuse me.
He did a Bjork tour. That's cool.
Yeah, you can definitely see this motherfucker has skills. This film. Anyway, so I wanted to see Barbarian Sound System, and I was going to do it for this show, but it was like because it's based on like a person editing a Giallo film or doing the sound for Giallo films, and I was like, oh shit, I want to do more. But it always said that it wasn't really horror, so I was like, forget it.
We should just do it.
I will. But having seen this guy is so incredibly fucking talented visually, at least. Because watching this, I don't know if you guys felt it, but the closest film that I could push this next to was the Love Witch. Just in the terms of how it sort of looked.
I wouldn't go that far, but
I think it looked obviously like from the very beginning. It looked very 70s, but obviously there was a modern look to it.
They definitely got a look, but Love Witch was like really mind blowing looking.
Yeah, Love Witch was very much like.
Everyone check out that movie; it's fun.
Love Witch did not stray at all from how the film looked. You know, like how in that era, that film, like it was doing like late 60s, early 60s sort of film.
Yeah.
This has definitely a 70s vibe to it, but I can't pinpoint really what it is. This obviously probably the sound and, a lot of the shots.
I think it's more of a mix, this one.
They definitely get like the cool sound stuff of like those like weird commercials with the music and everything.
The sound style of this is incredible. It's one of the best sounding films. Just from the soundtrack alone is fucking incredible. I should have taken down the name of the person that did the music soundtrack. It was like a band, I guess. But anyway, so Thea, get into what In Fabric is about. Get into it, Thea. Go.
So it ends up being kind of an anthology, but they start with a story about Sheila Woodchapel, who seems like she's going to be the protagonist for a long time, and basically she's kind of down and out. She's just gotten divorced. She has a teenage son or 20-year-old son. I don't know. But she wants a dress for a night out, and she goes to this weird fucking department store and finds the dress.
If someone was talking to me like that lady, the sales lady, I would fucking run. You know that she's like a monster or like a witch or something. She has to be.
It almost feels like they talk to you like that at the Harry Potter world of wizarding. You know what I mean? Like they get into character.
But they're pretending to be witches.
Like it's like, how much is this soda? Well, this is an ancient soda with the, and they'll just keep talking. You're like, whoa, this is interesting. Whoa, I'm getting a real show here.
Really quick, the music is by Cavern of Antimatter.
Yeah, well, I gotta look them up because the music for this was incredible.
Yeah.
Just everything, sound design, like everything visually is incredible. What happened though? I think an hour into this film, the director must have got bored or something. I don't know what.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It is a film that is super solid in its first hour, and then they were like, okay, let's just go for something else in the middle of it. Turn into an anthology, like Thea said. And it's very strange because it's like I wanted to like it. I mean, I do like it, but I wanted to really fucking like it a lot. And it just with that pivotal change in the middle of it, I was like, because once obviously spoilers. Once Sheila passes away after the car accident, I was like, oh, okay, is the son going to take up? And Sheila. I didn't even recognize Brienne of Tarth in this. I was like,
wait, where was she?
She was the bitchy girlfriend with the black hair.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
How did I not even fucking figure that out?
I mean, I saw her name.
If I hadn't looked at the IMDb, I wouldn't have known. I don't think.
I saw her name
totally. I can't picture her with that kind of hair. That's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I saw her name in the opening credits, and I was like, okay. But then, like after the first time, when she was getting sketched, I didn't recognize her face. Then when she started being an asshole, I was like, oh, wow. I was like, okay, that's interesting. It's nice that she's in this. Much better than what she did in the Star Wars movie.
Well, she was cool in Star Wars. She was a badass stormtrooper.
She was badass to who? She gets thrown down a trash can, and then she dies in the second one.
Yeah, well, she's a stormtrooper. She's a garbage person, but that's that's okay.
Okay, fair enough. So Thea, what are your ranging thoughts on this film itself? Like in Fabric, what do you think this was trying to get across? I don't think there was a messaging to it, but what do you think worked for you?
I really liked Sheila's story. I really liked also the it's sort of like really anachronistic. Like it's all over the map in terms of time references. Like Sheila's entire room and wardrobe and life looks sort of 60s or 70s.
Yeah, because she's in her 50s, right?
Yeah, but then her son's everything is modern.
Yeah, very much so.
Wait,
yeah.
And then, of course, the department store, every woman and man that works there is dressed...
Yeah. Oh, that's Gothic,
is dressed like 1900s,
okay, but can
1800s.
I still can't wrap my mind around this. Brienne of Tarth is the girlfriend of the son?
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Okay, that's so weird.
She's an actor. She's playing another character.
No, but she looks nothing like her.
Do you want to see her in a suit of arms?
That would be... Imagine she always has to be in that same outfit regardless of what movie she's in.
It's contractual.
They didn't really play up her height in this film, did they? They did sort of.
Not really.
She opens the door and Sheila walks in on her.
Yeah.
There's something very, I think...
I felt so depressed for
Me
Sheila.
too, yeah, I did. Because there was something very sad about this first half. Like,
she's just this lonely,
Sheila's shitty
beaten
life.
down housewife who just wants people to respect her, and nobody does.
And that, I'll say, gets across much better in this film than a lot of films about loneliness. Because this is a woman in her 50s, and I guess her husband decided to leave the family. And this is somebody who I'm sure gave 30 years of her life in a relationship, and then now you have nobody there. And then you know how life is. Like once you hit a certain age for any gender, nobody sort of looks at you the second time.
This is depressing.
It is. I mean, it's a depressing film, that first half of the film. Just that she's, answering...
And the son is such a little douche.
He is. He's such a... Because it was so funny, because I don't know what else that I was watching, but there was, like, the daughters were assholes. And then this is the first one where I see the son's really an asshole. Because, like, usually if a son's an asshole in a film, he becomes, like, an antagonist, or he's like...
Or he learns his lesson.
Conflicted, yeah. He learns his lesson. He's just an asshole in this film. And
he was kind of nice at one point. He spoke in French and he said, "Hey, you should be nice."
Right. But I mean, like, if if somebody had spoken, to my family member like that, I'd be like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
That's like.
Yeah, but he was getting that Brianna Tarth poontang, Makes sense.
And he had to censor himself. You heard that?
Remember when he was drawing a butthole?
What about butthole?
Yeah. He jerks off to his own
classy
guy.
Ew, that was so creepy when she was peeking in at them having sex. It made me think, like, has my mom ever done that to me when I was a kid?
That's only something I've seen in anime, like it's perverted.
One time I had finished having sex with my ex-girlfriend. I was still living at home.
Hey mom, look what I did. Oh, okay.
No, and I didn't know anyone was home. I walked out of the hall to go pee. I had like a full boner, and I was naked, and my mom looked right at me. We made eye contact, and I jumped backwards in my room, and then my girlfriend jumped out the window because she was so embarrassed and didn't come over for months.
Rest in peace. Oh, she made it out.
She's dead now.
She died.
Yeah.
I had disgusting. I had a family member find a used condom that I didn't know where I threw it after.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That's pretty grotesque. Anyway.
Did they like approach you with it?
They were just
what
like,
is this?
They're like, I don't want her over. I don't know. It's that kind of shit. Anyway, I was like, listen, it's okay that your son is a whore like me. Anyway. So, this film, what would you think are the real flaws of this movie? Were there any real flaws in the first half of this film?
Thea, I could go, or you. I don't really care.
You go.
I think that it's a little slow moving, and it kind of goes nowhere. Because it's
the first hour of the film.
Yeah, like it's slow moving, and you expect it to go somewhere, and then it just turns into like this completely separate story about some weird guy.
I had the opposite reaction. I thought it was going somewhere, and then it didn't go somewhere.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It seems like it's going somewhere, and then it doesn't.
I think the film would have worked better if it was the narratives were spliced together as opposed to one.
Like that movie Splice. Yeah.
That's
could do that sort of thing.
And Adrian Brody comes in and he fucks a space alien. That's good.
You see Sheila and the dress have morphed into some weird alien.
And she has like some sort of her eyes get weird. All right, that's very good comedy right there. What did you guys think about the ultimate feel? Obviously, I think we all agree that the first half is better than the second half.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because it feels like it decides to then take the piss out of itself. It almost feels like you watch the first film, and then the second half was a sequel that they put comedy in because they didn't know where to put, more horror elements to it. Because the first one wasn't funny, but the second half...
it was a little funny.
What was funny about it?
I mean, her utter sadness.
Stupid asshole. But the second one deals with which character?
Oh God, what is his stupid name?
He's a very forgettable character.
He's a washing machine mechanic.
Right. Whose boss is a complete piece of shit. He is going to get married. He's going to get married in a UK, I guess. That's how they have night stag parties. They still call them that over there. And one of the friends, one of the bros, buys the dress, puts it on him, and
wasn't it the father-in-law that did it?
Yeah, the big bald guy. Was he? I thought it was another guy that bought it, but his father-in-law was definitely there. Yeah. Anyway,
Either way, they are all assholes.
We're dealing with this character. Is it Clive? I don't know what the character's name is. Reg. So Reg is there. He's sort of a boring, milquetoast sort of character. His wife is this young, very pretty girl with black hair. They're getting ready for their marriage. It doesn't have sort of the dramatic structure that the first half has, so it feels like almost sitcom-y. So like him having shitty time at work makes sense. I mean, God, could you imagine you have to go to your boss to tell them that you fixed your own washing machine so they can charge you, and you get fired over that? That's like the most ridiculous.
I don't know if that's possible. How would they even know?
Honestly, I think this whole story exists in a weird, like, alternate universe where it has weird rules. It's obviously not our world, in a way.
You know what, Thea? I don't want to hear your fucking logic.
If the world has death taxes, then I would assume this could be real, too. Come on, because, shit like that I'm sure exists. Like, they pull it out of their ass to put that in there.
Yeah.
So the whole situation is, like...
I found Sheila's bosses more annoying, to be honest. Because
the more disturbing,
I've seen that sort of thing.
I'm sure of it. The more disturbing part was the sequence where they're, undressing that mannequin and the old man's masturbating, and I thought they saw my future for some reason. I was like, wait.
They didn't just undress the mannequin.
I know.
They were spying on you in the future with a time machine.
Didn't they?
I
mean, in New York City, I think it was American Apparel. They had some mannequins in their open. American Apparel used to be a thing in New York City.
Yeah, I remember that pretentious place.
We had one here.
They had a lot of American-made clothing, so that's probably why it went out of business so quick.
They would sell they'd charge $50 for a trashy T-shirt
for a camisole.
But their mannequins, I remember them having a display where they had mannequins with full pubic bush hair on it.
Ooh!
So seeing it in this film was pretty funny. But yeah, that was I don't know what this store. What do you think the theory of the store is? Like, what do you think's going on with them? I think they're obviously witches, right? It's like a coven or something like that.
Well, I was kind of hoping, because it reminded me a lot of Suspiria in terms of style.
Yeah, a little bit.
They were going to eventually go into why this department store is the way it is, but they only kind of do.
I wish they had, yeah. I think that's what it was.
Was the salesperson like supposed to be a mannequin also or something? Like it was a little confusing.
No, I don't think so. I mean, well, it could be, I guess.
At one point, she climbed into a closet and took her wig off, and it was just like, what is this doing?
Like, I thought these people... That was a dumbwaiter. It wasn't a closet. I thought these people were going to become all mannequins, but I guess later on they're just making the dress over and over. Like, they're just making copies of the dress. That was another thing. Visually, it sort of... reminded me of the Suspiria remake.
I love that.
Yeah, so, I mean... The whole...
Do you think that anyone has ever called a waiter a dumb waiter as an insult without realizing the terminology?
If you're rich, you'd call them worse stuff, wouldn't you?
No, I'd call them like, you're a dumb waiter.
And then you're going to get piss in your soup the next time. I was really fascinated with the whole look and the actions of the... I guess I'm going to call them the store. Just the way that they looked, the way they spoke, the way they acted was really fucking interesting. Really wasted it, honestly, in the sense that you don't see a bigger, like, you don't have to explain what the fuck they're doing because it's a weird art house movie. But
well, they kind of could have explained it a little bit.
They could have just, showed them what the fuck was going on.
I guess now anybody who dies from this dress is now eternally doomed to sew new dresses.
The second story was really just unnecessary, and it should have just continued from the first. Even if Sheila had died in the first half, continue without like going into more characters that were unnecessary, because the whole dream sequences were stupid. Like the first dream sequence I think was more done in a horror way, which was interesting, but then the second one with him delivering the baby and them spritzing them, it didn't make any fucking sense. The commercials though were really fucking cool. What were the real negative aspects for you guys?
I think I wanted more of a resolution for Sheila's story, and so it just felt sort of like we've invested all this time and energy in these characters, and then all of a sudden it's new characters who I don't give a shit about. I mean, and don't even like.
You know what I would have liked them to do? Like, if I could have written it or something, like, once she died, and then, like, she goes to that, like, they reveal that she's, like, sewing this shit now for eternity. I would have liked the idea if she sewed it, and like her entire purpose in life now is to get revenge on her son's bitch girlfriend, and like make her wear the dress or something.
I was waiting for something to happen.
Something.
It's because I think the first hour you're actually getting acclimated to her character. You're getting invested into her. You know what I mean? You want to see her sort of win something in life, because
I did like that second boyfriend though.
He's great, yeah. The boyfriend Adonis, that guy. I mean, not the boyfriend, but the first.
He was the worst. Maybe it's something with a name, because I know somebody named Adonis, and they're such a douche.
And then the second guy was great. I don't know. I forgot what the other second guy's name was, but he was good.
He was good.
That's what it is. You get used to these characters in the opening, and plus it was an African American lead in their 50s. Like you rarely see that unless it's Morgan Freeman, who's like in his 70s. You know what I mean?
Is he that old? Holy shit.
Yeah, I think he's like really out there. But that's ultimately I think the negative point of this film, because everything else I think works tonal wise. Well, the first hour. Anything with the coven works.
I'm trying to find the name of the boyfriend. It's really bothering me.
Zach.
Zach.
Oh, look at
anything
you.
with the couple is terrible. Like it's not terrible, but just unnecessary. And
I did like their sex scene when they were talking.
Yeah, when she's like nagging him.
Yeah,
while they're having sex.
Because it was just so frustrating. Like you just wanted to jump in and just be like, "Shut up!" So let him finish, please.
That is like, you want to quiet a woman during that?
Well, you don't want to have an argument about mundane shit while you're having sex.
Disgusting. I'm offended. All right. Well, do we have any other final thoughts about this film? Like, what else can we really say about this movie?
If you're going to have conversations while having sex, make them interesting.
Okay. Best part, worst part of the movie for you, Thea?
Best part, whatever the fuck that mannequin sex scene was wild.
A mannequin on the
period blood.
Yeah, like that was super red.
And the mannequin pubes and just wild. Like semen flying through the air.
That's true. That too. That was almost like out of the director who did Mandy. That I would have that looks like it came out of one of his films.
That was a
like,
fun movie.
Worst part?
I don't know. The whole bachelor party just made me angry. I was just like, what are we doing? Like, this is horrible.
I think I will say that the finale where everybody goes insane at the end at the store, I like that ending.
I do like that.
Yeah, the fight was nice.
Because you don't know where this type of film. Usually, this is where that type of film would go, and I thought they were gonna completely abandon it. Like, go for more of a low stakes sort of finale for some reason, more creepy. And then the fact that it just kind of goes insane, I enjoyed it, and everything was getting destroyed. I don't know what it meant for the film, but I appreciated it.
I don't think the writer knew what it meant either.
Yeah, the second, I think that the second half was super tired and super sleepy.
They should have just made it like a fucking 40-minute film, or an hour maybe. Like, I don't understand these movies. Like, they feel like they're obligated to keep writing longer movies even when they don't have enough story to tell or something. Like,
well, it was trying to do two things. Like, if it wanted to do a story like of a character who encounters the stress, do that. If you want to do an anthology about how the stress kills people, do that. But don't do somewhere half-ass in between where it's like it could have been much better either way.
Yeah, I will say though that this dude is absolutely talented.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, he has. I obviously do want to see Barbarian Sound Studio, and also he did a film called The Duke of Burgundy, which is I think a lesbian drama, but it has that fucking look to it. Just the poster alone.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that too.
Is all of his stuff kind of like horror, or is it like not?
I don't know.
That one's not really horror. I don't think. I think it's just sort of like, but sort of bizarre. I would say most of his movies look.
Okay. I think it's all art house. And art house, obviously art house can drop into any genre. But mostly when anybody has something that they don't understand, like they say Twin Peaks season 3 is a horror, which some of it is, but it's not.
I love.
It's more of a weirdo show.
I gotta rewatch it again. I love it.
So Thea, what rating would you give In Fabric 2018?
I'm gonna give it 6.8 out of 10. Stuffing paper up your vagina and being very satisfied with yourself.
Yeah, did you hear that? She was into that. I forgot about that. I was like, is it really like that? I would give this film a 7 out of 10 just because of just how good it looked. Like, it's almost like beautiful. It's the same reason why I think I gave Loose a better rating than it should have. I think I probably gave Loose a 6 because that was a beautiful looking movie, but it wasn't a good movie.
That's so frustrating.
But this isn't a horrible film, but the first half is excellent, and it just kind of derails. But, the ending is good. So I would give it a 7 out of 10. Going on a date with an older man named Adonis, and he's anything but. That's true. Danny, what rating would you give this film?
I'm going to give this film a 7 out of 10. You're lonely, and your son is disrespectful, and you hate his girlfriend, so now you're going to peek in on them having sex and look at pictures of her butthole drawn on paper.
I felt attacked in the first part of that sentence, so that you were talking directly to me. So with that, Thea, what's the final word?
DJ.
Danny, what's the final word?
70 items.